Hi, Lakeview. Welcome to your weekly spiritual formation moment for week. I don't know. What day is it? What week is it? It's really hard to find a new rhythm in this new life. I was having a conversation with a friend a couple of years back, and she said something really insightful and beautiful about her life. When she was young, she had spent her youth adventuring. She'd done all the things that you were supposed to do when you were young, when she didn't have any responsibilities. She had seen the world, she had spent her energy exploring. That's what you do when you're young, right? You explore the world, you find yourself out there. And then she fell in love and she got married, she had kids, and she began to realize that a lot of the energy that had fueled her adventuring had been about her need to avoid what was going on in her interior world. And settling into a life that tethered her to a place and a people began her journey inward, which led to new discoveries about herself and about her need for God. And I've been thinking a lot about this wise insight of my friend lately. How constraint, how limitation, and commitment to things larger than ourselves force us maybe to face things that we might otherwise avoid. They force us to look inside and to see ourselves for who we really are. The Desert Fathers and Mothers lived in the 4th century, and they went into the desert intentionally to withdraw from life and from the distractions of the day to day. They saw the desert as a place where they could get to know themselves and God better. And one of the desert fathers, Abba Moses, said this: "Go sit in your cell, and your cell will teach you everything." And that's kind of what's happening now, isn't it? We are stuck in our cells. Life is canceled. And part of the difficulty that we're all having with life being canceled is that we're coming face to face with who we really are good at avoiding with the rush and busyness of daily life. This is how my adventure is going. On Saturday morning, I decided to sit and pay attention to my own insides. It was really quiet and peaceful in the house. The kids were still asleep. I had my cup of coffee. I still had my PJs on. I didn't have to be anywhere. Even the dog was asleep at my feet. And this is what it looked like in my own heart. And I thought to myself, am I always this moody? Is this what it always looks like in there? I went from feeling peaceful about my day to feeling utterly hopeless and untethered. I revisited the past and then careened into worries about the future. Then I had a conversation with myself about not being a baby. And then I had a bout of self loathing. And then I thought about how annoying certain people were in my life. And then I had this existential dread just creep over me that life is meaningless and spring will never come. It is a squall in there, people. I felt like a ship being tossed on the waves, and I needed my storm to be calmed. I need God to calm the storm out there, and it is stormy out there. But even more, I need Him to calm the storm in here. Listen to this story from Mark. That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." And leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him, and a furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. And Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. And the disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." And then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. And he said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." There's a storm brewing out there, but there's storms in here too. And I need Jesus to wake up in the boat and speak his words. Peace, be still. My temptation when I feel that storm squall inside of me is to get busy out there calming the storm, to organize the house or manage the kids, or I don't know, just do something to control my environment. But I think the invitation is to stay with what's going on inside of me. I need Jesus to calm this storm so that I can face the storm out there. And this is one of the best ways that I have experienced God calming the storm inside of me. It's by using the welcoming prayer. Most of the storm that brews inside of me is a result of me attaching to a need for security, for affection, or for control. And I need Jesus to come and loosen my attachment to these things and to heal the places where I just can't let go and trust him. This is the place where the storm needs to be calmed and where I need to invite Jesus in. So this is how you do it. First, I need to acknowledge what's happening to me in the moment. I might feel tension in my body. I might feel it in my heart, in my emotions, that there's a broken connection with someone that I grieve, or a heartbreak, or a feeling of shame. And this indicates my need for affection. Or it might be in my mind, stinking thinking, where I'm ruminating and just thinking about things over and over again. And then I need to welcome that thing. I need to let God come into it. And as you're doing this, it might even help you to sit there with your hands open, welcoming the feelings, welcoming the tension, but also welcoming God, leaning into it. And then as you lean into it, as you acknowledge it, you let it go. You release your need for control, for affection, and for security. You ride the waves of the storm, and as you do so, you let Jesus speak the words, "Peace, be still," into the middle of it. Now, those of you who have given birth have a leg up on this practice because it's a lot like going through labor. You lean into the pain and then it goes. Or if you've ridden the waves of grief, you also know how to do this. There's no use pretending that there's no storm. Instead, lean into the storm and give the guy asleep in the bottom of the boat a little kick and ask him, invite him in to calm your storm. Let him speak the words, "Peace, be still." Let this time of constraint be a time when you experience the calming presence of Jesus in your body, in your heart, and in your mind. I want to close with the words of the poet Lal Ded to remind you that this sheltering in place is also the time to experience the shelter that Jesus can bring to your heart, to your home. I was passionate, filled with longing. I searched far and wide. But the day that the truthful one found me, I was at home. We can make the journey inward, knowing that no matter what waves crash against us, we can wait and find that Jesus will speak the words, "Peace, be still." Lean in, welcome the storm, and let Jesus speak peace to you.